Hello, I'm Cap Daniels. Let's continue reading I Am Gypsy, Chapter 6, Sunday. Everything always had to change, just when it was getting great. I watched Courtney grow and learn to play and talk and eat without help. That was pretty amazing to see. In my last family, everyone could talk and eat when I met them. What an amazing life I was having. I got to see my first family grow up, suffer unthinkable tragedy, and fall apart. Thinking back, it was sad to remember. I hoped they were safe and happy and healed someplace, but something made me doubt that would ever be possible for them. I was watching my new family experiencing everything wonderful. We were traveling and seeing amazing things, and Courtney was perfect. And then it happened again. Penelope got fat. KH talked to her tummy again, but this time no midwife came. Instead, everyone left, and I was all alone in an anchorage in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I could smell the rum distillery, and I liked that, but I missed my family. The sun went up and down 4 times while they were gone, and I was afraid it was happening again. I was afraid they were getting tired of me and would only come back now and then, just like my first family, and that I would get dirty and broken again. I was afraid and lonely. They came back, all 4 of them, but what happened next terrified me. It breaks my heart to even consider being without Gypsy, but I think you're probably right. She's just not big enough for all 4 of us. What? Yes, I am. I'm big enough. I am. Take out that diesel. We don't need that thing. That'll make plenty of room. We don't have to make any decisions today. It's just something we have to think about. Penelope stepped aboard with the new baby in her arms. Look, Ocean, this is Gypsy. She's our home. Oh, they named the baby Ocean. That's perfect. And she called me their home. That's the best thing I've ever been called. I was busy watching Ocean and didn't notice KH untying my lines. Before I knew it, we were out of the slip and sailing out of Bahia de San Juan. The wind blew perfectly for Ocean's first sail, and dolphins came to see her. She giggled and cooed and blinked her eyes when the sun shone on her face. She was so beautiful. She looked just like Courtney when she was a baby, but without the mess in my main salon. We sailed for hours, but not like we used to sail. KH was careful and gentle. He didn't let me go like he used to, and I didn't want to run. I wanted Ocean's first time on the water to be perfect. We could go fast some other time, if there would be some other time. A few nights later, it happened. I'd been dreading the talk, but I knew it was coming. KH sat on my deck and leaned back against my mast, rubbing his hand across me. Gypsy, old girl, we've had quite a time together. We saw the green flash together. Remember that? Yeah, I remember. How could I forget? We both wished for Penelope, and she came back. I need to see another green flash so I can wish for us to stay together forever. You're the best old boat there is, Gypsy, and I love you. If I were capable of tears, they would have been coming. It was hard to hear KH tell me goodbye. I wondered where I'd go. What would become of me? Would I get a new family? Would I ever see Ocean and Courtney again? I found you a great new home. My granddad is coming to get you. You'll love him, Gypsy. He's just like you. He's spent his whole life on the water. It's all he knows. He's grouchy sometimes, but he's going to love you, and he'll take really great care of you. Me and Penelope are taking a great job at a resort here in San Juan, and we're getting a real house. It'll never be a home like you are, but it'll be good for the girls. And it wouldn't be fair for you to have to sit in the marina all the time. You're a sailboat, Gypsy. You need to be out there sailing, and Granddad will take you sailing every day. I was sad and happy at the same time, and that didn't make any sense at all to me. I was happy that my family was getting a real house and a job. San Juan seemed like a nice place for a family. They had a rum distillery and a castle. That was a good start. KH sat there for a long time. I don't know what he was thinking or if he was thinking anything at all, but I liked just spending those last few minutes with him. He'd been a great part of my life. He'd taught me how much fun it was to live life on the edge, to push myself to go faster and to not be afraid, to sail across the horizon to places I'd never been. I learned that life is about more than comfort and safety. Sometimes it's about feeling alive and throwing caution to the wind. But I also learned that it's about loving someone else and creating new life with that person. Then falling in love over and over again with your family and building something bigger and stronger than that free spirited existence. It's about discovering what's important in every stage of life. That's what I learned from Knothead. When the sun came up the next morning, Penelope sat on my deck with her bare feet dangling over the starboard tow rail. I love you, Gypsy. I'm really going to miss you. You welcomed me, you shared trip with me, and you did it with such grace and style. You're a real treasure, Gypsy. Thank you for being my home and a home for my children. I'll see you again. It won't be long. Penelope proved that real life isn't about what others expect or think you should do. Real life is about being true to the part of you that makes you happy. I think that part is your heart. Penelope proved that college isn't for everyone, and that some people are happiest when they find their way back to whom and what they truly love. And then they build something perfect and wonderful, like a family. That's what I learned from Penelope. Courtney sat in my cockpit with Ocean squirming and cooing. A dragonfly landed on Ocean's toe, and Courtney giggled. Look, Ocean, you've got a new friend. The whole world was an adventure for Courtney. Everything was exciting, and having a new baby sister to share that excitement with was one of the best things she had ever known. People need innocence and fascination, and they need someone to share that with. The world is full of dragons and flies, but dragonflies are rare and make really great new friends. That's what I learned from Courtney and Ocean. Nothing could have prepared me for what I would learn next, or for the person I'd learn it from. KH's granddad showed up. It's going to take a while to describe him. Describing how he looked is far less important than describing how he was. He held Ocean on his enormous, weathered, crooked hands, and tears rolled down his aged cheeks. Ocean reached for his white beard and giggled. They were 75 years apart, but connected by something beautiful and timeless. They instinctually loved each other without choice or decision. Courtney climbed on the old man's lap and told him everything she knew about everything, and he listened as if she were the only voice in the universe. They played and laughed and talked. I had never seen anything like it. Penelope played her guitar and sang for Granddad, and he danced with Courtney on my deck while she stood on his feet. They cooked and ate on my deck, and it reminded me of the times with my first family when we'd anchor out and do the same thing. Perhaps cooking and eating is just being together has some value that can't rightfully be defined. Perhaps. Penelope and the girls went to sleep, and KH and Granddad sat on my deck sipping a cocktail. Granddad pulled out a cigar and stuck it in his mouth. It smelled magnificent. I'd seen cigars before, but never close up. I'd never smelled one that smelled so good. She's a beautiful boat, son. You don't know how much it means to me that you want me to have her. Yeah, she's a great boat. I can't think of anyone who'd take better care of her than you. She's been my home and my family's home for a long time. I just couldn't swallow the thought of her going to somebody who'd mistreat her. KH loved me, and he wanted me to be happy and safe and well cared for. I loved him too, and I wanted exactly the same for him. Granddad pointed his cigar at KH. I'll take care of her, but you've got to let me pay you for her. I can't just take your boat. You're not paying me for her, and that's all we're going to say about that. I want you to have her, and she needs someone like you to look after her. You're a stubborn kid, just like your grandmother was. I watched KH swallow a lump in his throat. I miss her, Granddad. Yeah, son, me too. She was the best of them. She always kept that home fire burning while I was gone for all those years. I should have been home more, but my life was out here on the water. It was where I belonged. It's all I've ever known. Your grandmother deserved better than an old salt like me. They sat in silence for a long time until the old man finally said, well, let's get some sleep. I'll play with the grandbabies of mine in the morning before me and old Gypsy here head north. Good night, Granddad. The sun came up just like it always does, and Granddad was sitting on the dock with a white, fluffy puppy in his hands when Courtney came up on deck. Oh, a puppy. He's for you, said the old man, but there's one condition. What's a condition? She took the puppy in her arms. He licked her face and she laughed and danced like a little princess. I remembered thinking that Tina was a princess, but she had grown up to be so sad and empty. I hoped Courtney and her new puppy would never grow up. A condition is something that you have to do for me. Okay, Granddad, I'll do anything for you, she said, still dancing with the puppy. He handed Courtney a small brown bag. Wait until I'm gone and then give this to your daddy. Can you do that? Sure I can, no problem. She peeled open the top of the bag and peered inside. It's money, lots of money. Yes, it's money that I want your daddy and mommy to have, but they won't take it from me. So I want you to give it to them when I'm gone. And in return, you can keep the puppy. Do we have a deal? You betcha.